Right everyone, so we are back for a new vlog series, me and Honey. We're obviously doing a vlog series with her anyway, and I've covered pretty much every topic I think I can over the last few years. But in this series, we're just going to be doing short video sessions where we're going to be covering key points in amongst various things. So that's what's going to be coming over the months to come. And our first session today is going to be on the most basic thing, which on my spectrum doesn't really come onto my training spectrum, but for the majority of people, it can be a quite difficult thing, and that is basic lead work. And we're going to cover all the bits that come in and around that basic lead work. So that's what we are going to do today, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Come on in. Right, everyone. So we are looking at today what you're seeing here, very basic heel work. The dog being able to come to a halt, sitting in a straight line, walking to heel. Now, obviously, for me, this is a very basic thing, but for most people, having a good heel just on the lead alone is a huge milestone. But to get to the point where you can walk your dog to heel off the lead, now she's very vibrant, but she can hold herself back. Just because she's quick and she's keen doesn't mean that she can't walk neatly to heel. Okay, so you can see heel. You can see she's really up for it. All the time that tail's going, she's wiggling from her head to her tail all the time. And even though she's never ahead of me, okay, she's always in the right place, paying attention to me, great eye contact. And that all comes from that very basic lead work. And some of the major mistakes people make at the beginning, they just put a lead on the dog and they start walking. Now, yes, right at the very beginning, that's absolutely fine. But there's some key points. You want a nice sterile environment. Now, I'm doing something naughty here, but do as I say, not as I do. I typically will start my clients on a nice hard surface, not on grass, because this will provoke a lot of problems. But this is the space that I'm training on today, so this is where I'm going to show you. But typically, a nice high, hard standing place. You don't want a space where you can walk for maybe more than 30, 40 yards. You certainly don't want any distractions going on around you, kids playing, other dogs out, cats, anything can distract them. I'm always saying Spaniels are like normal dogs with ADHD. Their attention span is very short. Your sessions need to be short and sweet. Bosh, 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 done, finish, put them away. And you build on that slowly. And until you've got quality, you don't build in volume. So typically people put a lead on a dog and they just start walking it. Now that initial part's absolutely fine because that dog's confidence level comes up, but at the right point you've then got to start doing correctional stuff to get that dog walking to heel, and those sessions are going to be super short. Generally when I'm working with my online training clients, I'm telling people that those early sessions are like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. And until we can do 2 minutes of good heel work, we don't do 3, 4, 5 minutes, and we're certainly not walking them, because the longer you walk the dog incorrectly, the more it's learning to walk incorrectly. So you've got to build in quality, then volume. Okay, and as I said, there's key points at the beginning. Very sterile environments. I'm always telling everyone that. Find the quietest place you can. Nice clean area, okay? No distractions on the floor. Whichever way we're going, we want to walk on the far right. That keeps the dog away from any curbs, hedges, fences, places where smells naturally tend to catch. And by keeping the environment sterile, it stops the dog from getting distracted. And that's one of your key factors at the beginning. If you've got kids and they come home with homework, you don't put the TV on in the background, because that is not going to help them study. You want to minimize distractions and keep all the focus on you. So what we're looking for is basic heel corrections. Now, I start all my puppies off on one of these. I had to find it there. This is one of my puppy leads. Now, she obviously isn't a puppy now. Well, technically she is a puppy, but she's past that puppy size. I don't have to use a lead at all on her. She will walk immaculately. But at the beginning, when I'm working with my clients, we're using one of these puppy leads. It's super light, super soft and supple. It's got different loops up for it. It looks quite crude, but these different loops allow us to set the correct length of lead. So when the lead is on the dog, put this over her head. She's like, what you're doing? What are you doing, Dad? Now, I know when I'm walking this dog at the moment, if my arm is relaxed by the side, you can probably just see there's a gentle loop. It goes down my leg and up to the dog's neck. Now, I know if I was walking along now and she was walking by my side, as she would be, technically, I know when my arm is relaxed, I've got slack in the lead. Not too much, but enough slack. I'm not holding the lead like this. This hand is not for lead work. Left hand for lead, right hands are for retrieves. Okay, now when I'm walking along, if that dog goes to go ahead of me, so by the way, I don't do any correcting, what I call a manual correction, until that dog has learnt to be confident on the lead. If your dog is still lagging behind or being a bit unsure, then you don't do any of this. And that might take between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks for that dog's confidence level to come up. And that will normally manifest itself in what I call pulling. Now, I want the dog to pull initially at first because that shows me the dog's confident. It's just that I don't allow them to pull for very long, okay? When the dog goes to pull, what we're looking to do is, it's hard to show you with her because she obviously doesn't really do anything wrong. But if I was walking along, good girl, good girl. The first thing is I'm always communicating with the dog, good girl. If I was walking along and the dog goes ahead of me, what I'm going to be looking to do is a sharp tug back nice and low, and then I'm going to immediately go into a turn like that. Okay, so the dog goes to go away from me, I do a low tug and then immediately turn to get the dog to keep up with me. You see how she's glued to my leg here? She's paying attention to me because she doesn't want to get caught out. So as I said, again, if the dog is pulling away from me, I'm looking to do a low tug back, immediately turn and make the dog keep up with me. And you might have to keep doing that. Now, sometimes I will turn into the dog as well so I don't get dizzy going round and round effectively. In which case then, I'm just going to pull that lead round. I'll do a little tug back and then I'll immediately turn into the dog. So if I do that sped up, I can do a little tug and then immediately turn. If your dog is too far ahead of you, come on, I know you think this is weird because you don't know what's going on here, do you, honey? We don't do this anymore. A little short tug back and then we turn into the dog. I don't teach sit to my dogs until they can walk immaculately by my side. Because if my dog isn't in the right place when I'm walking, it's pointless trying to do a sit. So I have an order that I work through things. I don't teach any sit until my dog is walking on a slack lead. And that's the next stage I then go into after that. And we will make another video on that another day. But the most important thing at the beginning is not volume, it's quality. Make sure the environment's right, have the correct lead. So one of the things, as I just said with my puppy leads, is they have different loops and knots. And when I'm working with my online clients, my first objective is to figure out which is the correct loop for them to hold. Once I know they're holding the lead in the right place every time, that's a variable that I don't have to worry about. That's constantly changing. The problem with normal leads is you hold it here one day, then there, and it's changing constantly. This has a very clear point where to hold it. Then I don't need to worry that they're not holding the lead in the right place. And then we just work forward through the corrections like that. But once we've got that dog walking really nicely by my side and the head's up and they're paying attention, then I go into sit work. But until that's in place, I don't do. Stop just walking your dog. Your dog will not get better at walking to heel just by walking it. You must do the corrections. You can use treats and all sorts of stuff like that. It's not something I do. I want my dog to do it because they want to please me and because then I can go on to other things where I keep their attention. And that's something that we will follow in later episodes coming along. Specifically, that will be retrieving based around lead work. And that's how I keep that motivation high and that dog wanting to do stuff. She is a super vibrant dog, but she's already learned at 10 months old to sit and be patient. This dog can wiggle from one end to the other, no problem. But we've taught patience through the training that we're doing and our focus is always on me. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Guys, don't forget if you're looking for some help with your training, maybe you're getting a new puppy or you've got one, you're struggling, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram and then I can reply to you and I might be able to help you out. Any training products you see me using, go through to our Spaniel page, Spaniel Training Kit, and you can order any products on there or off my Facebook page, Hampshire Spaniel Training. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. Catch you later. Come on, honey, let's go.